It's nice having you friends here. It's about time for us to start practicing. We can begin to bring ourselves onto our mats, stretching our arms up, release any tension. The side body can get so stiff. We walk with our arms to our sides all day, every day. Lay that way, sit that way. So it's nice to just reverse it for a few moments. Dropping the arms, wave them around, move the air. Feeling this viscous medium you're standing in. Actively breathing. Beginning to bring ourselves to our centering thought, idea, feeling, anxiety. Sometimes we can get so in our own heads about the things we don't have control over. So we'll take control now, in this moment, in this yoga pose, in this practice that you're showing up for. Begin to squeeze all the air out, connecting hands below. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Connect above, gaze upwards. Release the air. As you release the arms down, soften. The first cycle complete. We'll do 3 more. Floating between these extremes. Notice your ability to be in control of duality. Arms up surely has to be the opposite of arms down, right? And yet here you are, flowing effortlessly between these extremes. Feeling. Completing our 4th and final cycle, we'll reach up, bending our knees, we'll tilt our hips, floating the hands down, squeeze the air out, fall deep. Inhale, reach back up, connect above, gaze upwards. We'll do 3 more. Allowing ourselves again to experience the extremes, even that of anxiety. We can be low, bent over, or we can be strong, reaching up, capable. Not judging, but realizing that it's always a flow. We'll come into this forward fold, surrendering. Hands on the ground, or on the shins, on the thighs are okay as well. Allowing for this moment, the surrender. 4 full breaths. Actively softening. Completing this 4th and final exhale. Squeeze lower still. Inhale. Sending the palms up high. Connect above. Bring that energy down and into the heart. Noticing the heartbeat. The ground underneath our feet. The way we breathe. That we might not always be in control of where we find ourselves on the ground, how fast our heart is beating, where our breath is coming from, if not everywhere. And yet we have the control to stand still right now. And the control to release, stepping to the front of the mat, arms at the side, squeeze all the air out. Inhale, send them back up high, connecting above, bend the knees, tilt the hips, floating the palms down to the earth, connecting to the ground. We'll step one of our feet back, that leg straight. We stack the front knee over the front ankle, reaching the palms up into a warrior 1. Gaze upwards, feel your strength, and then release as you squeeze the air out, melting over the front knee. Completing the first cycle. We'll do 3 more. Completing 4 full cycles. Connect both hands. Step the back foot to meet the front. Stepping the other foot back and straight. Stack the front knee over the front ankle. We'll do 4 on this side. Completing these 4 full cycles. Step the back foot to meet the front. In this forward fold, we'll lengthen. Inhale once. Exhale, fold deeper still. Inhale. Send the palms up high. Gather all of this energy we just practiced into a little ball, bringing it down into the heart. Noticing the heartbeat, the breath, the earth underneath the feet. These things that make us remember how stable and secure we are. And then reflect for a moment. We just went through cycles of extremes again. The warrior, and then the one that surrenders. With our anxiety, asking ourselves, which one do we like to be? And then acknowledging that that answer always changes. And that shouldn't bring you anxiety in and of itself. See it, release it. Beginning to step ourselves wide. Arms out to the sides into a T. Beginning to inhale and expand. Release. Tilt and twist. Opposing hand towards opposing foot. Other hand up to the sky, gazing upwards. Inhale, out of that twist. Exhale as you twist to the other side. That's 1 full cycle. We'll do 3 more. Acknowledging that it's not about how far you go or about what this pose looks like. That shouldn't bring you anxiety in and of itself. It's about you showing yourself that you have the control. However far your control spans. Being grateful. We'll complete 4 full cycles. Reaching both arms up this time with a big inhale. Lengthening the spine. And then begin to release. Tilting at the hips. Float the palms gently down to the ground. Connecting to the earth. Point the toes towards the hands for extra mobility. Sink the head low as it can go. Releasing any tension in the neck. Imagine your head dangling like a fruit hanging from a tree. Completely free. Your shoulders soft. Your legs should be doing all the work. Focusing on these last few breaths. We'll thank Mama Gaia deeply. Sinking lower still. Bow as you squeeze out this 4th and final exhale. Inhale. Sending the palms up high. Connect them above. Heel toe or step the feet underneath the hips. Bringing the hands to the heart. Holding this pose one last time. At least for today's practice. Taking this bookmark, how we feel, anxious or not. And then allowing ourselves to measure ourselves again tomorrow. Again, the breath, the heartbeat, ground underneath our feet. Release. Stepping to the front of the mat. Arms to the side, squeeze the air out. Inhale, send them back up high. Connecting above, bend the knees, tilt the hips. Connecting both hands to the ground. This time, we'll step both feet back. Sending the hips up high as we squeeze out all the air into a downward facing dog. We'll inhale slowly, dropping the knees to the floor, then dropping the belly low, gazing up to the sky. Release around the spine, push the hips back, squeeze the air out. Completing our cycle, we'll do 3 more. Feeling into these cows, not overextending. Noticing the shape of the spine as you go through these extremes. Completing 4 full cycles. We'll begin to bring ourselves back on the mat, sending our knees nice and wide. We'll connect our big toes together behind. Sit back on the feet as you send your palms far out in front of you, bringing the forehead to the ground. A child's pose. A moment to remember that as anxious as we can get, we always have this moment. This insight, this inner child, this part of you that can surrender, can take a moment of stillness, quiet. Taking this part deeply in. We'll squeeze out the air, beginning to imagine the moon dangling above our head. It is a full moon right now, right? So reach up, catch that full moon energy, bringing it completely down into the earth. See waves pulsating through her. Inhaling to the front of the mat, a plank. Release the weight as you release the air, connecting to the ground. Inhale, arch the back up into a mini cobra, keeping the fingertips light, letting the back do the work. Release. Push yourself back into that initial child's pose. Sitting up to do 3 more. Make it your own. Any modifications that you feel necessary. Don't have to do a complete plank. You can do it on your knees. You can use your arms to push yourself into a sphinx. Lift yourself up completely. Please feel free. Doing a few more. Completing 4 full cycles. We'll find ourselves right back in that child's pose. Maybe bringing the arms a little bit closer to the head this time. If you wish, even interlacing the fingers behind the neck. Almost like plugging yourself deeper into the earth. Feeling your forehead as an extension of her. The entire sphere, Mama Gaia, extending from you in this moment, touching all lives. Every flower, every little bird song, riverside, icy topped mountain. Coming back to you in this moment. There's so much outside of our control that we shouldn't be anxious about. Just notice this moment. And then release. Beginning to bring ourselves to our backs. We'll squeeze the air out as we drive ourselves into the ground. Feeling Mama Gaia's support. Her holding you like a baby in her arms. We'll begin to inhale, the knees high, feet off the ground, fingertips lightly on the knees, squeeze the air out. Inhale, send the palms up, feet up to the sky, point the toes to the face, drive the hips down, and release back to that neutral position. Inhale again, this time feet close to the hips, arms above the head, send the hips up high into a bridge. Release, dropping the hips. Come back to that neutral position. Completing the first cycle, we'll do 3 more. Completing our 4 full cycles, we'll begin to inhale, sending both arms, both legs up to the sky. See them in your field of vision. And then slowly, with the air, release them to the ground. As soon as you touch the earth, let go of the tension. Let everything out, melt. I don't know if I'm experiencing time dilation or if that was the longest shavasana I've ever had in this practice. But we'll begin to inhale, bringing our attention back to the body, to this moment, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the wrists and the ankles. Embrace the control you have Coming from that quiet, calm space, we'll send our arms to our sides into a T, dropping the knees to one side and then to the other, twisting the spine ever so gently, releasing any tension. Feel free, free from anxiety. Release. Noticing it once more, closing ourselves off, anxious and small, breaking out of it. Stretch yourselves out long and wide. Feel this expansive energy with a big inhale. And then release, softening. Thank you, dear friend, for showing up again. Rub your hands together. Create some warmth, some heat, energy. And if there's any body part that is in need of healing, place your hands on that body part. Noticing. Remembering that you have this ability to heal yourself and that this will be no exception. Beginning to bring ourselves into our sides. Fetal position. Seated is also okay if that serves you. Just taking this moment to integrate, to breathe, feel yourself rejuvenated, reborn, capable of showing up for the day, having shown up for yourself. Thank you, dear friends, for showing up with me. It's always such a dear pleasure to have you here.